Hello there, everyone. We're now on to day 8 of the World Cup, and the shocks have been unbelievable so far. Some of them have. I mean, a lot of the games have gone pretty much how you'd expect them to, but Spain going out in the way they have, losing 2-0 to Chile, never seen that one coming. I mean, the teams that are out at the moment, obviously we've already got Cameroon, we've got Cameroon out, Australia and Spain. No one expected to see Spain bow out like that, and there's going to be a big team going out in England's group as well. Obviously, we had Holland won 3-2. They didn't make easy work the day of their win against Australia. They were 2-1 down at one point, and I said Tim Cahill might have something to say about it, but he certainly come up with possibly the goal of the tournament so far. That was a hell of a hit, wasn't it, really? So some of the best strikers in the world can't even hit a volley like that, and he's what you call an attacking midfield forward type, isn't he? And I just find him so good in the air as well, for a pretty short guy as well. Big fan of Tim Cahill. It's a shame he had to move away from the Premiership. Obviously, Chile taking Spain apart. Spain were dreadful. I mean, they've been so wasteful with their chances as well. Like I said, David Silva scores against Holland and it's a different game. And Pedro scores against Chile and Spain stand a chance then, It's they were wasteful, they were undecisive, and their play wasn't as fluent as as you expect to see from Spain. Like the Spain we've seen a lot of over the last decade or so. Croatia took Cameroon apart, didn't they? 4-0. I didn't see the game; it was a late one. I was up early for work this morning, and I've got a little bit of a lunch break now. But then I'm back in, unfortunately. But 4-0, and David Silva was the only one who let me down on that treble. The thing is, I haven't got no bets on until I get paid tomorrow. It's not that I haven't got any money or anything like that. It's like I'd rather top my money up and then just see what sort of spare change I've got. Really, like, and just throw in and just put a couple of bets on. Hopefully, want to come up, and then it will rejuvenate my betting account, because I did take it apart to pay my phone bill, if I'm being honest. Mandzukic, I said, didn't I? If Mandzukic is going to be playing a part in the game, to put it on him, Robin van Persie and David Silva. Well, David Silva was the letdown. Spain were once again the letdowns of everyone. So, sod Spain. We're moving on to today's games, and we've got 3 tight games. I mean, really tight games. And I'd imagine you're going to get good odds on these games for whoever you choose. Now, I think Colombia in the first game are going to beat Ivory Coast, and you'll get decent odds on that. It's going to be a narrow one, but then this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to go 3 different betting tips for you now. I'm going to go a treble: Colombia to beat Ivory Coast, I think Japan to beat Greece, and I think England to beat Uruguay. Purely right now, I'll explain each one. Colombia for me, They played great football against Greece. Greece never looked like they would win the game at all. It was always going to be Colombia's win. It was a matter of how many. I'm staking I'm staking Colombia. Well, I would stake if I had. Obviously I've got nothing in my betting account at the moment. But then this is, if you're watching this and you're looking for a good tip, Colombia to beat Ivory Coast. I'm saying Japan to beat Greece. Greece just didn't look good. Japan made a good account of themselves against Ivory Coast. So I'm saying Japan to beat Greece. And England to beat Uruguay, because Uruguay were dreadful against Costa Rica, and England were the better team, in my opinion, against Italy. So, with or without Luis Suarez, I think England could do Uruguay, and Uruguay could be the next big team to go out, and that could be today, or tonight. But each game, Uruguay and England is, it's a tasty affair. Japan and Greece, Colombia and Ivory Coast, none of those games actually appeal. If you look at the size of the nations and and the teams and how good the teams are, but funny. But Colombia and Ivory Coast, Japan and Greece, they got the makings of good games, and the Japanese are always very, very quick, put your body on the line type players. They never stop running to the Japanese, and that goes for the same for your Chinese and your South Koreans and all that. But I'd say Japan could beat Greece. I'd say Colombia would beat Ivory Coast, because I just think their football was too good. Ivory Coast have got some good players, but having good players doesn't mean an awful lot in this World Cup, as you'll see with the likes of Brazil and Spain, with the way they've played, and Uruguay, So, and Portugal as well. If you think about it, Germany absolutely tore them apart. So having good players doesn't mean you're going to win games. Colombia to beat Ivory Coast, Japan to beat Greece, England to beat Uruguay. That's the tip for the treble for outright 90-minute betting. Goals, I think you're looking at. We're looking at the 2.5 margin, the under or over 2.5. I'm saying Colombia, Ivory Coast over, Japan, Greece, under, Uruguay, England. That's a toughie. Over. Colombia, Ivory Coast over, Japan, Greece, under, Uruguay, England over. Anytime scorers. Japan, I'd say go for Honda with Japan, James Rodriguez, Colombia, and I'd say Daniel Sturridge, England. That's another decent treble to put on for anytime scorers as well. But I'm gonna concentrate on England, Uruguay. With Suarez, I don't think it's going to make an awful lot of difference unless he lifts the other players to play better. For England, I think that they played really well against Italy. I think it was just a matter of finishing off their chances, and I think Wayne Rooney will probably start. I don't think Hodgson will have the bollocks to drop him. He should have the bollocks to drop him because he should be dropped. And personally, I'd start Ricky Lambert up front, or maybe even have Sturridge in the centre and throw Oxlade-Chamberlain on the one side with Sterling on the other. There's another option. Definitely need to keep with Gerrard, Henderson, Sterling and Sturridge. You need to keep them four on the pitch. And Glenn Johnson, I felt, played well. None of the goals really came from his side. So I think England could well beat Uruguay with or without Suarez. So, has any of the recent games changed my opinion on who's going to win the World Cup? Is a question someone might ask. No, I don't think Brazil are going to win it. Brazil are not good enough. I think they've taken the wrong squad. I think there's a lot of players out there who I would have considered. Players like Coutinho, for example, or Alexandre Pato, are players I would have considered ahead of players like Joe or Fred, who have been dire. Spain, the post-mortem on Spain. How can you say? For me, it's such a tough one with Spain. They've been completely taken apart, and you look at their team and you think, oh my God, they got this player, they got that player. How has Del Bosque got such a great team playing so well together for the last 10 years, and then now, all of a sudden, still with a great team, they've been so bad? I never fancied Spain. If you watch my first pre-tournament review, I said that if Spain's big players step up, then they'll stand a chance. But I didn't fancy them. I fancied Germany more than Spain. But to be honest with you, I fancied Argentina more than Germany. But then with Germany taking Portugal apart so easily, I just fancy them at this moment in time. Germany are going to win the World Cup in my eyes. But Holland and the way Robben's been playing might have something to say if Holland and Germany end up meeting. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into who can meet who overly much yet. But if Netherlands and Germany do meet, that will be. I think Germany will win, but I think it'll be Holland could well be the team that causes Germany the most problems. Group A, who's going to go through in Group A? I tell you something now. Brazil are lucky that they're playing the bottom team in the last game. I think they'll beat Cameroon and they'll go through. But Croatia against Mexico. Now, I've been big in Mexico because I thought they played some great football against Cameroon, but Croatia completely took Cameroon to pieces, didn't they? I can see Croatia beating Mexico in that group. I think it's going to be Croatia and Brazil will go through Group A. Group B is obviously already decided. Netherlands versus Chile. I think Netherlands will defeat Chile to take top spot in that group. And then the other group N, Group C, I think then is it Group C for England? England's group is not Group C. England's group is Group D. I do think it's going to be Italy and England. England will beat Uruguay and then beat Costa Rica. Italy are going to beat Costa Rica tomorrow. and then I think it's going to be England and Italy going through in that group. But I won't go ahead and say about any other groups. Oh, actually, Colombia. I think Colombia and Ivory Coast will go through there. I think Colombia beat Ivory Coast, but then they'll beat Japan. Ivory Coast will then go on and beat Greece. Greece will finish bottom, Japan will finish second, and that's my prediction anyway. So, up to Group D. We got a nice weekend full of football, full of some exciting fixtures. Obviously, we got... Well, I'll talk tomorrow. It'll be a later one because I'm working. I'm working until 2 o'clock tomorrow. I'm doing a sleeping shift tonight, so I'm working from pretty much more or less soon up until 2 o'clock tomorrow. So I'll hopefully have my next edition uploaded by then, by about 3 o'clock. Alright, so cheers for following it, guys. I know there's a couple of you who have been watching these and taking tips and giving me some really good feedback, so I really appreciate that, guys. If you think of anybody else who might be interested in watching this series I'm putting out, then get them hooked on. And the more viewers I get, the better it's going to work out for the Newport County Choir YouTube channel. So yeah, cheers for your support, and hopefully if any of you take my tips, they come up for you. Cheers and cheerio for now.